Hi everybody, Wendy from Cinnamon Sweet Shop. Finally, I'm getting around to making something I've wanted to make for years. And it's called Tarte aux Pommes. Now, for those of you who are French speaking in French speaking countries, you're probably laughing your ass off at the way I pronounce that. For those that don't speak French, that's just a French pastry. We know it as apple tart, or French apple tart, because it's a little different than what we have back right here in the United States. Anyway, I'm going to make this a little bit healthier, trying to make it as gluten-free possible, reduce sugar, healthier fats, you know the game with that. So, for the pastry, I am using some oat flour. And incidentally, all the measurements for all the ingredients are in the description box below. And I am putting that in a bowl. And I'm also using some almond flour. That'll give it some moistness. And I'm just going to keep that together for a bit. I have a little bit of warm water. And I'm going to take a pinch of salt and dissolve it in this warm water. Now I am using Smart Balance instead of unsalted butter. So I'm trying to use just healthier fats. You can use a vegan butter or you could just use regular unsalted butter. And you want it very, very cold. So I just took this out of the refrigerator. And now we're going to make this look like wet sand or damp sand. So from this, I'm just crushing with this little pastry crusher thing. I don't know what you call this. And I'm going to crush the butter into the flours until it's evenly distributed and it looks like wet sand. I'm going to take some of this water and just add a little bit. I'm probably not going to use all of this. I want it to be able to hold together to form a ball. Because I'm using some almond flour in here, it adds some moisture, some of the fat from the almond flour. So I'm not going to need a lot of this. So just go ahead and just a little bit. Wrap your dough in some plastic wrap and just flatten it down a little bit. And then refrigerate it for about an hour. While I'm waiting for the dough to refrigerate, I'm going to make the compote or the apple filling. So for this, you're going to need 4 apples. I'm using Golden Delicious apples. You can use any kind you want. And I'm going to peel this, take the core out, and cube it. In a pan on medium heat, we're going to cook the apples and we're going to add the brown sugar. Now this is my fake brown sugar. It's my sugar-free brown sugar. I showed you how to make this in a previous recipe. So check out the recipe and you can make your own. So I'm going to add some of this sugar-free brown sugar to it. Some more of my Smart Balance or vegan butter or real butter. Some cinnamon, and I am going to add a teaspoonful of vanilla extract. You can add a little less if you don't want that much. I love vanilla, so I like to add a lot of this. Before I add the lid to cook this though, I'm going to add some water, which I forgot to mention. Then add a lid and then cook this for 20 minutes. Once your apples have cooked for about 20 minutes. They should be nice and soft. So I'm using a potato masher just to mash it all down. I still like mine a little bit with chunks in it, but if you want yours totally smooth, like applesauce, you could put it in a food processor or blender and get it nice and smooth down. Get a hold of a Tarte pan. Now, you can get these for really inexpensive. This one happens to have a removable bottom, which I love. And with my dough, it's going to be a little hard because it was refrigerated. We are going to press this out into the pan to cover all around and to come up along the sides. So as you can see, I'm just using my palm to push down on the bottom to get it nice and flat. And then I'm using my fingers, my 2 thumbs, to push up along the sides of the tart pan. You can also use the bottom of a glass to go around and to flatten out your dough. With the rolling pin, you could just go around the sides and it will cut off anything hanging over. Now we want to fill in the pie crust with the apple compote. And just push down to make sure it's evenly covering the tart crust. With about 2 to 3 more apples, you're going to peel and core. And we're going to slice these very thin, half moon shaped. Place your half moon apple slices overlapping all the way around the tart. The last step is to melt some more butter and then add in honey. Now you can use maple syrup if you don't want to use honey. I personally love both. Just get that nice and mixed together. And then with the pastry brush, just go over the entire tart. I'm going to bake this at 325 degrees for about an hour, but you always want to check your tart 45 minutes into it just to see how it's coming along. Everybody's oven calibrates differently. This is what it looks like when it is done. It is so good. The crust turns a nice golden brown because of the oat flour. The apples are just delicious with the honey on top. Recipe is below in the description box, and be sure to thumb up this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and join me for more upcoming recipes, travel adventures, vlogs, pretty much everything. Have a great day.